Mounting evidence suggests Tyson Fury is poised for an extraordinary comeback, signaled by three powerful indicators. In the theatrical and often unpredictable theater of professional boxing, pronouncements of retirement, particularly from a figure as towering and charismatic as Tyson Fury, are frequently met with a healthy dose of informed skepticism rather than immediate acceptance. Despite the recent and seemingly definitive statements from the Gypsy King indicating he was stepping away from the punishing demands of the sport, a compelling accumulation of evidence strongly suggests that Fury is not merely contemplating a return but is actively laying the groundwork for a dramatic re-entry into the squared circle. This highly anticipated comeback is not expected to be a low-key affair. Instead, it is widely speculated to culminate in a monumental, legacy-defining mega-fight, one that has long captivated the imagination of boxing fans worldwide, a clash against his prominent and long-standing British adversary, Anthony Joshua, potentially slated for the latter part of the current year. Fury had initially conveyed his decision to depart the fight game following a pair of challenging and incredibly closely fought contests against the universally recognized pound-for-pound number one boxer, Alexander Usyk, earlier in 2024. These defeats, while marking a rare setback in an otherwise extraordinarily successful and dominant career, ostensibly served as the impetus for him to bring the curtain down on a professional journey that saw him build an exceptional record of 34 victories, offset by just 2 losses and a single draw, with an impressive 24 of those wins coming via knockout. His career included 2 separate and significant reigns as the world heavyweight champion, and he secured his place in boxing history through his unforgettable, action-packed, and often brutal trilogy against fellow power puncher Deontay Wilder, a series of bouts universally acclaimed as one of the most thrilling and important heavyweight rivalries ever witnessed. However, the compelling narrative of his professional fighting life still feels incomplete, notably missing the colossal all-British showdown with Anthony Joshua, a contest that has been the subject of intense discussion, negotiation, and fervent demand from fans across the globe for many years, but which has never quite reached fruition inside the ropes. The most potent, alluring, and perhaps psychologically motivating reason driving the growing speculation surrounding Tyson Fury's potential return orbits around the significant piece of unfinished business represented by a showdown with Anthony Joshua. This eagerly awaited all-British superfight remains a glaring and arguably unforgivable omission from Fury's otherwise stellar, comprehensive, and richly decorated resume, a contest that has been discussed, negotiated, agreed in principle, and tantalizingly close to becoming a reality on several occasions throughout their respective careers, yet for various reasons, has frustratingly never materialized. With Anthony Joshua still an active, formidable, and highly relevant force within the heavyweight division, currently navigating his path back towards securing another opportunity at World Championship status following some impressive recent victories, the timing for such a colossal domestic clash appears increasingly opportune and strategically sound for both fighters. The sheer prospect of these two titans of British boxing, the two biggest stars the nation has produced in the heavyweight ranks in recent times, finally sharing a ring holds an almost unparalleled magnetic appeal, promising not just a supreme sporting spectacle of the highest order but a cultural event that would undoubtedly dominate headlines, captivate the entire nation, and resonate profoundly on a global scale. For a fighter like Tyson Fury, who has consistently demonstrated an acute awareness of his place in history and the importance of his legacy, the opportunity to finally and definitively settle the long-standing question of British heavyweight supremacy against his primary and long-standing arch-rival, and in doing so, potentially add another monumental and historic achievement to his already remarkable name, could prove an entirely irresistible proposition, powerful enough to compel him to walk back even the most emphatic of retirement assertions. Beyond the profound historical significance and the quest for ultimate bragging rights, the commercial implications of such a fight are, quite simply, staggering, promising potentially record-breaking figures for pay-per-view buys, gate receipts, and global media rights. Yet, for elite competitors like Fury and Joshua, while the financial rewards are immense, the historical significance and the chance to leave an indelible mark on the sport are often the more powerful and enduring motivators that stir a fighter's soul. This particular fight transcends being merely another bout. It is the fight that an entire generation of boxing fans, particularly in the UK and across the Commonwealth, has been yearning for with unparalleled intensity, and the increasing likelihood of its potential realization now serves as a powerful, almost gravitational beacon drawing Tyson Fury back towards the center of the boxing ring and the spotlight he has so often commanded. Secondly, and perhaps serving as the most direct and visible signal from the man himself, Tyson Fury has been acutely and deliberately instrumental in fueling the rapidly spreading flames of comeback rumors through his own strategically calculated social media activity, a platform he has masterfully utilized throughout his career both to build his profile and to send cryptic, often provocative, messages to the boxing world and his legions of fans. In a recent video clip, which quickly went viral across various online platforms, the Gypsy King was filmed looking sharp and conspicuously present in a boxing gym, a familiar, albeit recently less frequented, habitat for the supposedly retired fighter. The intrigue surrounding this appearance was significantly amplified by the caption that accompanied the video, which was both playful and suggestive, reading, "Just in the gym, happened to bump into somebody you might know." The individual referred to, whose appearance alongside Fury instantly grabbed attention, was none other than his esteemed and highly successful head trainer, Jovan Sugar Hill Stewart, the respected coach who was widely credited with fine-tuning Fury's offensive capabilities and who was the strategic architect behind some of Fury's most dominant and impressive performances, including his emphatic victories in the latter two fights of his epic trilogy against Deontay Wilder. This notable reunion in a dedicated training environment is highly unlikely to be a mere coincidence or a casual social visit. It speaks volumes about renewed purpose. Adding considerably to the palpable sense of anticipation and leaving little room for misinterpretation regarding his intentions, Fury directly addressed his vast online audience in the video, stating with a knowing look and an air of confident expectancy, "You know what's coming." Such a deliberate and highly public appearance alongside his principal boxing coach, combined with a pointed and suggestive pronouncement about future events, is a classic, well-honed maneuver from the Tyson Fury playbook, expertly designed to generate maximum buzz, spark intense speculation, and strongly hint at a renewed and serious focus on resuming his fighting career. These are not the actions or communications typically associated with a man genuinely content and settled in retirement. Rather, they paint a compelling picture of a seasoned warrior actively sharpening his most vital tools and mentally preparing for a new, high-stakes campaign, thereby subtly but unequivocally signaling to the entire boxing world that his remarkable story inside the ropes is emphatically not yet finished. Finally, providing perhaps the most concrete, tangible, and persuasive evidence of Fury's imminent return, his longtime manager, Spencer Brown, has recently offered key insights that suggest his client's widely publicized presence in the gym was significantly more than just a one-off recreational visit or a trip down memory lane. Speaking in a recent interview with IFL TV, Brown was directly questioned about the rampant speculation surrounding Tyson Fury's potential step back into professional boxing. In response, Brown shared a particularly telling piece of information, one that resonates deeply within the symbolic world of pugilism. "He has bought a new pair of boxing boots, so what does that tell you?" Brown disclosed. This statement, while seemingly simple in its delivery, carries a profound implication within the boxing fraternity, as the purchase of new, specialized equipment, especially boxing boots and shorts, is a practical and widely understood indicator that a fighter is making a fresh, dedicated commitment to the rigorous and often grueling demands of preparing for training camp and future competition. Brown further elaborated on Fury's current disposition and physical state, noting positively, "I was with him the other day up in Scotland, we had a great time, he was happy, he had a couple of Guinnesses, and he does look in good nick." This observation about Fury being in good spirits, looking well physically, and not having allowed himself to become significantly out of shape is a crucial detail, strongly suggesting that he has maintained a level of fitness that would facilitate a relatively quicker and smoother transition back into high-intensity training, contrasting sharply with the physical decline sometimes seen in retired athletes. Brown then concluded his remarks with a tantalizingly ambiguous statement, adding, "But he has bought himself a new pair of boxing boots and some new boxing shorts. You will know soon enough, won't you?" This carefully worded tease emanating from a key figure within Fury's closest professional circle serves as a significant and almost official endorsement of the growing comeback narrative, effectively transforming what was initially mere speculation into a much more tangible and highly anticipated expectation. The deliberate act of purchasing new, specific training gear is a practical step, a physical manifestation of intent and preparation, strongly suggesting that the former two-time world champion is, at the very least, seriously preparing himself for a return to active and competitive professional boxing in the very near future. Adding a fascinating and influential layer to this rapidly developing saga is the perspective offered by Alexander Usyk, the very man who inflicted the recent, high-profile defeats upon Fury and who was himself widely believed to be nearing the conclusion of his own extraordinary career, potentially with only 2 or 3 fights remaining. Usyk has publicly articulated his clear disbelief regarding Tyson Fury's purported retirement. During a recent interview with The Stomping Ground, the undisputed heavyweight champion opined with conviction that Fury is not genuinely retired, confidently stating his firm belief that Fury will continue training, continue boxing, because he's a great man. This assessment, coming from a direct rival and the current king of the division, adds considerable credibility and weight to the burgeoning idea of Fury's return. Tyson Fury's subsequent response to Usyk's comments was entirely characteristic, defiant, self-assured, and immediately focused on their recent encounters. He vehemently claimed that he was, in fact, the rightful victor in both their bouts, asserting with frustration that he was unjustly robbed by the judges of decisions he believed he had clearly won. He then declared, "The world knows the truth," and defiantly stated his unwavering readiness and willingness for a trilogy bout against Usyk anytime, any place, throwing down a clear gauntlet. Intriguingly, the most practical and perhaps the only realistic pathway for either Tyson Fury or indeed Anthony Joshua to secure a highly coveted and potentially lucrative third fight against Alexander Usyk, the current undisputed monarch of the heavyweight division, might well be through a direct and decisive confrontation with one another first. The victor of such a colossal, high-stakes British showdown would undoubtedly emerge as the most compelling and almost undeniable candidate for a final, career-defining opportunity to face Usyk, who currently stands as heavyweight boxing's ultimate challenge, the formidable final boss figure that any aspiring or returning champion must overcome to claim ultimate supremacy.